takes me back in here.
Yeah.
Some good times.
I was wondering, how did you guys actually like originally meet?
Through open source?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got introduced. Yeah.
Amazing.
Like you were already doing like some 3D game stuff, and then I was trying to teach kids how to code. Yeah, that's been a while. Yeah, we're approaching our 10-year. I mean, we may have passed our 10-year friendship anniversary.
We started working together over at Apple. I didn't manage to stay there too long. I encountered the idea of Ethereum, and it sort of wedged in my brain, and I wanted to figure out what it was. Then got introduced to the idea of MetaMask through the Ethereum Foundation's vision for Mist, really. It was their, not just their wallet because it's an application platform, it was a special web browser. I kept pulling on Dan to come join me, and at the time it felt like a long time before he did, but I think in retrospect it was probably like a few months.
It was my first software job. Like I had never made over 20K a year before Aaron got me my programming job. I was hustling like 5 jobs at once. I was screen printing, teaching chess, teaching a computer class at a local park center, and then thanks to generous people at Hackerspaces helping me learn stuff and introducing. I eventually had a job, and then eventually, oh my God, a job doing like kind of our own idea, you know? Aaron had started it, and then I was like, maybe a web extension, and let's shove this out the door a little faster. Like I brought my improvisers, like sometimes you just have to shove it out the door spirit.
I was definitely getting stuck in some rabbit holes trying to build a web browser in the web browser. It was accomplishing the goal of bringing Ethereum to the web browser you already have, which the Mist project was not attempting to do. Dan came up with a smoother way to do it.
Ethereum transaction signing with like almost no UX. Okay, fortunately that seemed to actually be useful to a lot of people.
That was enough to let people start experimenting with the space. And
it's like, just take the key management off our shoulders so then we can do our own thing.
So did you set out to build a wallet?
I really just wanted to take what Mist allowed you to do and let you do it in the browser you already had. Okay. And then I wanted to be done with it and move on to something else.
How long do you think it would take?
It was going to be like, it's
going to be like a month or two, right?
I put out 3 months to get the thing done, and then it would, we'd have it solved and we'd move on to the next thing.
Aaron had made a version that worked in the browser, and then he kind of hacked it right into the web extension, and then we're like, it needs to look better. We got some fresh designs from a designer named Vlad Todorut, and we're just like, one evening, it was one Friday night, we're just like, let's reskin the whole application. And at that point, the application was small enough that the two of us were just like, and like half of my time, like maybe a majority of my time was like, oh, he drew these icons that look funny. I need to make an icon generator that matches the designs. And that's where JazzaCons came from. I didn't come up with the design for them. I was just modeling this designer's prototype. He's like, and something that looks like that. I was like, how do I capture the essence of what you did here?
And users were measured in the, hundreds or something like that. Yeah. So it felt really easy to make changes.
You could push breaking changes, and we would never hear about it because we had no users at that time at all. Literally, we had to beg people to use the application at all at hackathons or something. This is early 2016? Yeah, right. So it was before we publicly launched. We had a 6 months of private beta.
When we were looking for, what are we going to build on top of Ethereum? It was take some closed markets where the people are the one both producing the goods and consuming the goods. So Airbnb, Uber, all these things where they just needed a network, identity, and a reputation system. And then it's really just people connecting with people directly and not taking 30% out of the middle. And so those were all the use cases that. So then trying to connect it to what makes sense to me is that you put a governance model on top of resources, and then it's more about how do we architect human collaboration for management of resources. And that's a more interesting problem to me.
Yeah, when you think about sort of the the security parameters of security culture, or like the robustness, right, long term of MetaMask? Like, how do you think about that? How do you ensure that like it's going to be good?
That's a good question, because this is a pretty big change in I think our approach to MetaMask. At the beginning, it was not going to be a company or a for-profit entity or a vehicle for revenue in any form. It was just free software, basic infrastructure for Ethereum. And that made sense to me because I was worried about the influence of capital shaping how the software would influence user behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want your VC pressuring you to like turn your users into gambling addicts or something, right?
Exactly.
Which would be really easy. It would be really easy to do that, and we haven't done it. Please appreciate the lack of malice. Like, people never notice the absence of malice, you know? You ever notice that? Yeah, virtue is invisible. Anyways, go on.
What changed my mind about how we do this is that suddenly MetaMask became very popular, and a lot of people were relying on it for their day-to-day job, for their well-being, so for some of their investments, and it became clear how important security was. Obviously, security is important, but it needs more than just like parables about, hey, security is important. It's important, right? You know, it needs people answering emails when people express concerns about security. Thankfully, at MetaMask, because we have revenue, we were able to fund a very talented security team to keep everyone safe.
Is it big enough?
It could always be bigger, and we're hiring. But with so I'm really proud that we've been able to build up a security team worthy of keeping all the users safe.
MetaMask has grown a lot over the last couple years. I think you guys were at about 20 for so long until I checked back in. So you were at 20 probably until 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened?
And then
the team.
And then it got worse because 2020 started with like this big market retraction where for a second we weren't sure how much runway we had. And then we worked our butts off to ship a swaps product so we'd have some revenue. And then we were able to hire again.
We don't know when, but at some point it's very likely that we'll see an immense amount of rapid growth again. Like, what do you want to accomplish before that?
So far, most of our focus and our usage has come from these the purely financial use cases, the blockchain, and I think there's so much more we could do with digital identity and cryptographic signatures.
Yeah, I want to make sure that the next time there's a big wave of new users, that they can read transactions like significantly better. It's just user coherence, you know?
What makes you most optimistic about the future?
What makes me optimistic is that it's getting easier and easier to experiment, and people are getting hopefully inoculated against some of the grift. And if people get better warding off the scams and get better at understanding the tools, then maybe we'll actually have that positive impact that got us in it in the first place.
I think my interest and dedication to the Ethereum and related ecosystems doesn't come from like, this asset is the future or these assets have figured it out and they've got the way, but that these systems allow us to experiment and keep trying new things. And so that gives me hope that we have this room for rapid experimentation.
If people start learning how to value their own, what they have to offer, I think we have yet to see how much that's really worth.
What's the end game for MetaMask? Yeah, what's the end game for MetaMask?
Enabling people to fearlessly collaborate.
I like it. And solve our pressing issues, like climate change. That's my OKR. Until we solve it, I'm not happy. If you beat me to it, I'll be jealous.
If you could only build one feature for MetaMask in the next 3 months, what would it be?
Yeah, I guess it would be like socially readable transactions.
Okay, Aaron. 3 months.
I'm going to put the make your own token button in there so the magic of tokens is dispelled. and anyone can make their own. It's all monopoly money.
Final question, what sparks joy in your workday?
I don't know, maybe it sounds cheesy, but honestly, working with a bunch of creative and intelligent people and being able to like share our passions and yeah.
Stop it. Yeah, no, that's mine too. No, I mean also working on problems that, it's like, look, we may not have solved the problems, but like having a bunch of people, so they're smart and they're nice people, but they're also good-hearted people who like want to have a positive impact, right? And so like wherever we take this thing, at least we did our best, you know? And that sparks joy for me. Here's to another 6 years. I mean, hopefully it doesn't take that long though, right? To finish it. Yeah.
Now we can move on to what we were going to do.
Yeah, and actually make that DApp and that solves the economy.
Cool. And climate change.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can beat that 6-year timeline then.
Yeah, let's go. You guys ready?
See you then.
Let's do it.
Cut.
Is that a good closing?
I'm happy with
Dude,
that.
we
That feels
are-
like a good.
I don't know how they're gonna edit this.